There's a reason The King is Watching took up so much of my time during its demo phase and after its release. This is one of the best blends of strategy, tower defense, resource management, and replay value all wrapped in a calming, atmospheric, minimalistic world. The goal here is very simple, and while the gameplay may look complex at first glance, it's surprisingly approachable to casual players, and for those who want a tougher challenge with the options that are available. It's not often you come across a game that works its title directly into its core design. The King is Watching isn't just a random name, it's the entire premise. The King's Gaze, which in this case is you, is represented by a small 3-tile radius actively controlling which sections of the kingdom are being productive, dictating where your civilians gather resources, work, or recruit troops. So instead of building a few structures and then waiting things out, you are constantly shifting your attention and focus to meet the needs while planning ahead. I found this to be a very engaging and unique mechanic. Once you get your hands on the base building, resource management, depletion, unit balancing, tailored choices, enemy waves, spellcrafting, and meme-based events, it's easy to see what makes this game stand out and so much fun. For me, it was without a doubt the soundtrack. If you want something calming, play The Village, and when you eventually unlock the second stage, if you want a more tense and eerie layer to the soundtrack, check out The Graveyard, which offers different atmosphere and mechanics. There are plenty of different ways to play this game, and the more you dive into it, the more units, council members, buildings, and features are unlocked slowly, each of which are tied to your chosen king that offer something different and new. Their abilities develop as you continue to use them, unlocking new strategies and combinations, though I did find myself playing through the default king more than anything else because I didn't find much interest in starting over with no abilities. Each successful run brings more added challenges, including modifiers that restrict access to parts of the kingdom, with blocked tiles that must be cleared ahead of time, along with more frequent boss encounters that keep the pressure on rather than pulling you out of the flow. Since each run offers a different layout and modifiers that boost tile productivity, some runs can be ridiculously in your favor, while others feel much tougher due to the spacing. With the full release of this game, it introduced the Graveyard system, which added a layer of depth with the Relic Shop and temporary units that unearth relics, artifacts, and resources, while also being easy to lose and needing to be sent out at the right time and recalled before a battle starts. What keeps me coming back to this game is the replay value, but like many games in this genre, it does come with issues that might frustrate certain players that are looking for long-term investments or incentives to explore the many different builds. So let's mention those issues. It just needs some balancing, because right now the most effective strategy revolves around stacking your warriors supported with a longbowman. The combination of double strike chance per active warrior, burn damage over time, and high single target damage makes them extremely strong against bosses and tankier enemies. It's hard to justify using anything else when most of the bosses come out of nowhere and destroy everything if you do not have this type of ranged damage. There is a wide variety of units, that being common, rare, and legendary, and the same goes for production buildings, but the costs to recruit and properly set them up feel punishing when RNG is not on your side. It's noticeable when you compare it to the easy to set up warriors and the veteran buildings that let you target longbowmen early on even if you cannot afford them yet. It still lets you acquire the buffs and set them up and focus more on the resources you need for those troop trainings or shop upgrades. It ends up discouraging experimentation when the best path is so clear-cut. Let's say you start a run with King Baldwin and end up with a stacked-up army of peasants. Since his spell can go above the unit cap, you can just build for crystals and the king's statue to pour out more peasants so much more faster than any other build. On their own, they're nothing special, because they have low health, low damage, and are generally disposable, while saving up on resources before manually releasing them into the field. But if you manage to pick up the right artifacts and modifiers, like the ones that boost their HP by 75 and 50, plus a few grunt upgrades that boost HP even more alongside damage, they suddenly become unstoppable while continuously summoning more and more every few seconds. That is until you run into Volkar, the one boss that hard counters this entire build. So at that point you save up a bunch of banish spells or some of the invulnerability spells, which is the way to go with working around this element, otherwise they get completely obliterated and you have to start over. That is, if you can survive the fight. The balance isn't there unless you are the type of person willing to push for a build that you know is going to be highly inferior to all of the others. The King is Watching was the first game in this new subgenre of tower defense and resource management that really grabbed my attention throughout 2025. I'm genuinely thankful for that, because it opened the door for a wave of other titles I ended up enjoying more than I ever thought possible, with titles like Nine Kings, There Are No Orcs, and of course, more games that are continuing to pop up every few months. Even with the game issues, I still found myself having a lot of fun with the game. I just couldn't stop myself playing the same warrior and longbowman playstyle. No matter how high I kept turning the difficulty, it didn't really change much, so it might feel stale for some people at some point.